Hey everyone, welcome to the Freedom of Peace podcast. My name is Z.
And I'm Jerome, and we're the head messengers of MastURpeace LLC, a positive lifestyle perspective brand message, which we'll elaborate on further as we go along with our first episode.
Yes. So we wanted to go ahead and present to you guys exactly what MastURpeace means outside of just selling clothes, right?
Because
working out, because that's what everybody identifies us with.
Yeah.
All right. So we decided that the best thing to do would pretty much be start a podcast.
Talk to the people.
Yep.
And
here we can elaborate much more on what this means to us, how this affects our lives, our relationship with each other,
how it started,
the biggest thing, and just pretty much present to you guys or give to you guys the real authentic MastURpeace and what it means to us. Because like we've always told you guys that followed us for so long, that MastURpeace is your message, right? So it's your own personal message. What MastURpeace means to myself and Jerome might not necessarily mean the same thing to you, and that's okay. Even the way MastURpeace is pronounced. Like, a lot of people might pronounce it MastURpeace. That's correct. Or you are a MastURpeace. That's correct.
Yep.
Or MastURpeace.
Or they take it as instruction, like, master your piece is somebody like telling them or reminding them that's a best thing to do for them to be their greatest self. And or MastURpeace as a reminder that as their whole self, they're a masterpiece. And I think that's what most of us aim to become in this life walk in the first place. It's just our greatest self for the people that matter. And we just want to touch on that a little bit more and, kind of put that energy out with you guys too through this podcast of ours.
Yes. So work with us. This is all new. This is new for everybody, especially us.
Definitely out of my realm. You know me, I do not like being recorded.
Yeah, he doesn't. If you see like pictures from like when we first started dating and all that, like he's always has his head down, or I'll take a picture and his head is turned. He's looking far off into the distance, stuff like that. So again, this is really a new chapter. We wanted to start with you guys and just talk about us. And well, no, I don't want to say talk about us because it's not only about us. These episodes will not only be about us.
No, we'll bring people on.
Yes.
We'll have guests and we'll talk about different people's walks and how they're trying to become their best self for the people and the things that matter to them and so on and so forth. So it's like I said, it's just a whole message, you know what I mean, that I think gives a lot of people a more positive perspective about who they should be and who they want to become and how they want to go about doing that.
Yeah, I agree.
But speaking on when we were dating though, you want to tell the people how you wrote me in, how you really?
Anyways, no. No, I'm just kidding.
You got a spell on me.
So, we'll talk about that later.
Right. That's fine.
But, okay. So, let's talk about how MastURpeace started.
Right. That's a great start. How it started. I was in Afghanistan still.
And I was here.
And that's how we met. We were both deployed on the missile defense contract over in Afghanistan and on the same program and didn't necessarily like each other at first. But anyways, that's long story short. She ended up coming home before I did, and when she came home, she decided that, hey, I want to kind of branch out a little bit and
remember Iron Goddess?
Something together. Oh yeah,
Iron Goddess.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
You started the whole Iron Goddess thing, and then after she carried that for a little while, she wanted to do something together, which I thought was so cool of her just to say that, I think we should do something together instead of it just being me, because I'm all about team. I'm a team-oriented person, and I think a lot more things get accomplished when both of us are evenly yoked, as they say. So, but yeah, with that, one day we're on the phone and it just came up naturally in conversation, and she was like, I think we should call it MastURpeace. But,
yeah.
but it was the standard spelling.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you know me,
he's the creative one.
I'm not the creative one. I just like,
Well,
I like reinventing things
yes.
and making it out.
That's a good word, reinventing.
So, but immediately after she said it, it spoke to me, and I wrote it down on a piece of paper. I looked at it, and then with all the crazy slang spellings in our texting generation, the IM and DM generation, I just started playing with the whole "you are" thing, and then I put it in the middle and accented it, made it big, and I was like, and then it spoke to me immediately, so many different ways. It was so profound. And so I had her write it out on a piece of paper as well, because we weren't video chatting. We were just over a Skype call or something, probably.
Not Skype. No, it was actually, you called me.
That's right. That's right. My Roshan.
Yeah, your Roshan. I called you your Roshan.
But she wrote it down on a piece of paper the way that I, envisioned it and wrote it down myself, and she agreed.
Yeah, I agreed. And then once we found how we wanted it spelled out, we went on to, I forget what it was called at the time, but now they changed the name to Fiverr. And basically Fiverr's a website for any and everybody out there that is interested in creating logos or website designs or just anything and you don't know where to start. You can go to Fiverr. It's FIVERR.com, I believe. And pretty much what you do is you put what you're looking for. Say for instance, with MastURpeace. So we put MastURpeace out there. We were like, okay, we're looking to create this word into an actual logo, right? And then you have a lot of
graphic designers and such. It's like posting a job.
Yeah.
It's like posting a job on Craigslist with basically for creative minds.
And they bid for this. So you say, okay, I want to pay whoever wants to do this. I'll pay you $50 to create this design for me, right? And then you have freelancers. That's what they're called. Freelancers. They go out and they'll bid on your project. And a lot of people that'll bid, for the lower, they have a lot of different price ranges, but the lower ones usually are beginners that want to prove their work. So they'll bid on it, and then you'll be like, yes, I want to use you, or no, I want to use you. And you can also use you can go to their page and check out their profile and see maybe work that they've uploaded that they did before, or work they did in the past for other people. But basically what happened was when I put that MastURpeace out there, we had a guy hit us up, and he seemed like a really good guy and worked well with him. And so I went with him, and he created the design MastURpeace that you see now today on all of our clothing and whatnot.
And that was 2015, 16?
I think it's 16.
16?
Yes. Yeah, no, it was 16. April the 12th, 2000. Yeah. Well, no. April 12th, 2016 was the day we actually got MastURpeace, officially, the LLC. Yeah, LLC. But that was before.
Yeah. So it was 2015, I think, when we actually were putting it together.
Putting it together and stuff like that.
Ooh, time flies. Keep blinking.
Yes, it does. So if you have a dream, if you want to do something, just go out and do it. I'm telling you, just start it, because that's what we're literally doing with this podcast. We're literally just starting. We have been talking about it. We actually haven't even been talking about it too long for what you would think you need to do to plan it out, right? So I think the longest way when we first decided we wanted to start a podcast was within the last month.
Yeah. It's happened fast.
Yeah.
I mean, that combined with all the people that keep reminding me that you need to get in front of a camera. You need to put that on camera. Because I say some pretty, quippy things that people like.
Yeah, inspirational, motivating things that people really, not people, all of us, myself included, that we really grasp and be like, you know what? He's right. Just different perspective to look at, as opposed to the usual perspective that you have, right? It's an opportunity for you to step outside of your own, mindset and ways and how you think, and look at it from a different perspective, right? So we decided, it was okay, perfect opportunity, do a podcast, we can continuously talk about it, and again, as I stated earlier, invite other people as well, right. And so you'll get a lot. This is only the beginning. there's a lot that's going to come from this. And if you're interested in being on a future episode, you already know, email us at MastURpeace@gmail.com or hit us up on any one of our social media platforms as well. Mm-hmm. But okay, so back to it. Once we got the guy to create our logo, then we were just like,
time to make sure.
We were like, what else?
What else? Go time.
How do you start? Like, how do you put the message out there? And podcast was nowhere, and podcasts weren't even like that super popular back in like 2015, 2016. Right. I don't think so. I don't.
And then, more backstory. I had already been assisting, helping, working with, collaborating with my brother, David Shands, Sleepers for Suckers, motivational speaker now. You probably see him all over Facebook. He's got, the number one entrepreneurial podcast in the nation.
On YouTube. Right, his podcast is called the Social Proof Podcast, so check that out because I listen to that all the time.
He's a very dope guy. But I was actually working with him, trying to learn the ins and outs, because I don't want to say I like fashion, I like creating. And he was in a very creative space, and I enjoyed being in that space with him so much that I started picking up on the whole production of, clothing items and things of that nature, and marketing and branding tools and stuff like that. Because David's a well of information. If you've ever been around him, his energy is great. But so I had already been kind of working with him with that, and so it was kind of an easy transition for me just to say, I'm gonna take this and put this energy over here with MastURpeace and build this with her, because what else would I want to do with this beautiful thing right here besides build a life? So, but anywho, that planted the seed in me that I'm grateful for that time with David, and because it told me a whole lot before I needed to know it. And so when it was time to do this, it was easy to apply myself and say, hey, let's go about it this way. Let's at least start this way. And so we had a little bit of direction. And the first shirts came out, and I was like, oh.
Hooked.
Yeah.
Hooked.
Yeah.
I think it was our starting 5, and it was a purple burnout shirt we did. It was a black, heather black tank top. This is for the ladies. Heather black tank top.
And then we did
the red,
vintage red t-shirts and heather gray t-shirts.
Heather gray t-shirts.
Black and white logo. Yeah. The very first MastURpeace t-shirt was bought by Robert Dumont out of Maine. But I was deployed with him in Afghanistan. He's one of those people who's always been in my corner and pushing me and telling me, hey man, the world needs to hear you. Hey man, put yourself out there, for years and years. But he was the very first person to buy a MastURpeace shirt, and to this day I still think he has it.
Yes, and to this day we still talk, and the relationship has grown even stronger. Yeah, I used to work with Rob too overseas. Great dude. Hopefully we can one day have him on this podcast, because
he's got some great insights.
Yeah, if you listen to him talk, woo, yeah. But
powerful guy.
Yes. But what happened was, as well, I think why people think we were more so fitness apparel is because
we kind of started that journey at the same time.
Yeah. So him and I both, around the time when we started MastURpeace, we also kind of started our fitness journey. And it just kind of worked out that way that we made the clothes and we wore it to the gym.
Yeah. It's just, coincidence.
Yeah, and most of the people, I'm not from Huntsville, so most of the people I know knew, right, all right, the gym, that's where I go. That's where I built a lot of solid friendships. So it just kind of went from there. So I sold, so a lot of my gym friends end up buying the gear, wearing it to the gym. When he was overseas, the same thing. But so that's why it's not.
I couldn't help it because I was like, I don't want to say I was competing with you, but I was like, I'm not going to be the weakest one in the house. So I was in and out of the gym every chance I get. So, and wearing the clothes all the time. So always probably in a different shirt. People would tell you probably got to have a million items of MastURpeace over there while I was in Afghanistan. But it was to spread the message. It wasn't for vanity. It wasn't to gain popularity or anything like that. It was that's been our focus, is really just pushing that message out there for people to see that, hey man, look, you have this whole life to become something. Like, as long as you have breath in you, you still can become something. So that whole journey of becoming is where we find the values of our life experience. You know what I mean? To me, that's from my point of view. So just like I said, pushing that message out there further and getting more people acquainted with it and seeing how, I don't want to say, well, perspectives and kind of the culture of the people around you and the energy of the people around you changes for the better. I mean, I can't lie, I saw some good in it, and I'm not addicted to it, but it was more of a responsibility to me. Like, I take that, I don't want to say with pride, but yeah, it's a responsibility when I put this message out there, and that's why I don't jump in anybody's box about it. Hey, come check out MastURpeace. It's more so I let it happen organically or come up in conversation or whatever. So it's a part of the life experience. I don't want to make purchases and sales and stuff like that. No, I want experiences, relationships, because I'm a builder.
Yes.
I'm a builder.
And speaking of organically, this is the main reason why we legit just came out with a website maybe 2 months ago. So this whole time from 2016 until 2021, we have not had a website. And so many people ask us, why don't you get a website? Why don't you get a website? Get a website, right? But we both decided that with a website, you're not dealing, there's no human interaction, right? You just find something you like, okay, click it, put it in your cart, check out, you're done, right? So we wanted to try something different.
Yeah. So
we decided that in order to be able to purchase any type of gear from us, that we would force you, in a sense, to communicate with one of us. Yep. So when we had created our Facebook page, we created our Instagram page. Literally, and unless you were friends with us on Facebook or like maybe met us in the streets or something like that, you would not be able to purchase our gear unless you actually talked to one of us. And that was helping us because we're really big on relationships, and there'll be other episodes and we're going to talk more about building relationships with people, right? But we forced the individual, I hate to say force because it sounds like in the sense almost like a negative word, but it's not. Like, we created that organic approach where you had to interact with Jerome or I when you got something. And we met so many different people like that, and from all over the world, and people that he knew and I didn't know. I ended up taking their transactions and vice versa, and we got to meet the people in different crowds, and it just made the foundation of what MastURpeace means to us so much stronger, because we're not just throwing a shirt at you and like, here, buy this. We're actually building relationships, and a lot of these people that bought gear from us, we actually dealt with on a different level outside of just buying gear. You see what I'm saying? And it was just, a lot of people was like, oh, well, you lose money and all that kind of stuff. It wasn't about that. It's not about that, right? It's about spreading this message, hence the podcast now, and putting it out there. And then, like I said, with building these type of relationships, you don't know where different relationships are going to take you in life. So many people are so stuck in the box of, oh, I can only deal with certain type of people, and I'm only fool with them. And okay, again, that's for another episode, because that's, like I said, that's a podcast within itself, and we'll hit on that, because I am passionate about building relationships. But again, so that was the main reason why we didn't have a website to begin with, and I didn't feel like anything slowed down doing like that. We
didn't lose anything but sleep.
Yeah, we were getting a lot of hits, and continue to this day getting majority of our hits and sales come from people legit messaging us. Or walking out in the streets, or just stuff like that. It does not come from our website. Now, we do have a website, MastURpeace.com, right? We do have a website, and we do have gear on the website. You can please go check it out. But again, 95% of our interactions or 95% of our sales come from legit just people hitting us up on our Facebook, on our Instagram, or out in the streets, and us dealing with them like that, and we're actually talking to people. Yeah. So I like it, of course it's growing, and with that, you also have to like grow with the times as well, which is why we do have a website and stuff like that, because we can't catch everybody, You see what I'm saying? It's only the two of us. Like legit, it's only the two of us. We have a wonderful chick now, one of my homegirls.
Big God.
Yes. Oh. You're right. You're right. That's my bad. That's my bad. We got Big God watching our back always. Yeah. Without him, none of this. Telling you, none of this would happen. So, but in human form, like that's actually working, like the actual stuff, it's just Jerome and I. And so we know we're going to need to catch up with the time. So of course, had to come out with a website.
And eventually we'll bring some people on board, you know, and
oh, I did, before I forget, like I was saying a little earlier, and we do have one of my homegirls on the team now who's helping us with graphic design. So shout out to Jules.
Jules.
Yeah, who's been a huge help, helped us create our MastURpeace logo. We are creating logos for other people now to help people as well who want to create their own message. Right? So, if you, this is not to promote that, but if you're interested in that, hit us up as well. So, awesome. Anyways, moving on, babe. So again, the top 5, well, I thought it was 5 that we started with. We started with the tank tops.
4. I thought you had 2 or 3 on your side.
We had the gray shirt, the red shirt, the black tank top, the purple tank top. It was a starting 4? Yeah. We came out with 4?
I think so.
Okay, well, it was the top 4. Like
whatever it was, we don't have it anymore.
We don't have it anymore, yeah. And it's like the people who have that, it's just like...
Man, legendary.
Yeah.
Like, I still have my first shirt. And
I do too.
And yeah, not to brag on the quality, but I think when there's a quality message and the durability of the items match the message, I think that's awesome.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing too. Like with our stuff, we want to bring quality to you. Like I don't want you like wearing a shirt or wearing, it doesn't, not just shirts, we do so much more, you'll see, but wearing an article, a piece of our clothing, and you're super uncomfortable with it. Now I understand, like with all business and stuff, you start off, you have to get it right. So, in the beginning and stuff, we're still working. We're trying to expand into new areas of clothing and stuff like that. So we're working on it. If things doesn't work out, we go back to the lab. Mm-hmm. We tweak a few things for our people, and then come back out and try again. So.
And it's not perfect. We had some things where we totally botched. I've had huge orders that, just the customer. I don't feel like I satisfied the customer. I don't want to say I got a bad review or anything like that. Luckily, I'm very blessed that most of the people that we work with are very understanding and just,
because he holds such high standards.
They're connecting.
He holds such high standards for his work.
I do.
Which is very good. And that's what you want, though. You want the actual person that's creating your stuff to have high standards for what they give you, right? Because if they're just like, whatever, just give them anything, you're gonna legit get anything. So I'm proud of him for that.
Thank you, babe.
So, but yeah, babe, and I'm trying to get back to what we started MastURpeace. So after the top 4 came out, again, we was at the gym all the time, and it just so happened that it was just our gym friends getting the gear at first, aside from family members, and then we just kind of went from there.
Yeah, MastURpeace. I think when you started, branching out and jumping out there, going to different places, I think people started to realize like, hey, there's this very nice looking MastURpeace right here, and she's wearing these clothes. No, I'm just joking. But no, seriously, we enjoy it being organic, or I do at least, because it shows a true walk. You know what I mean? It's not like superficial. I can almost timestamp when I've given people stuff or when we've interacted, and I can go back in that space, and sometimes that helps me go forward. You know what I mean? So building those relationships and meeting all these different people, like it's been a whole experience in itself that I do want to further for years to come.
Yes, and he's helping me become more. Okay, so he is more of the extrovert, and I'm more of the introvert. Okay, so we balance each other out very well.
It's
but
not gonna look like that on camera.
So I call call him the mayor of Huntsville because I feel like legit everywhere we go, he knows somebody in this city. Okay, like everywhere.
Huntsville, Alabama, to be specific.
Yes, and so he's very, very. He has so many friends, girls, guys. You know, so it's just I was the opposite. I'm not from here. So when I came here, of course, don't know anybody. Things like that. So it's taking me more time to get to know people. But still, even in my past, I've never been huge on having like a whole bunch of friends and stuff like that, or a whole bunch of people I associate with and things like that. So
she's not cliquey at all. She does not like being in groups like that.
Yeah. So he's helping me find that part of me as well, to be more out and open and speak more, and helping me build my confidence as well with who I am as a person. And again, that's a whole other different episode as well. Like I said, we're gonna touch on a lot of things, but just so you know, like I'm still finding myself in this, and I'm enjoying the journey. Mm-hmm. And again, yeah, just
we're growing.
We're growing.
We're gonna become new people. It's just we have to respect that. You know what I mean? And try to focus those people to still be able to walk together, like evenly yoked. Like I said, like we gotta make sure we're both headed in the right direction, so we don't. I mean, from my standpoint, so we don't grow apart. You know what I mean? I think that's a real big key in relationships. Period. Just creating a space where you grow together. So, but like she said, it's a whole nother podcast.
Yeah.
But I do love her.
I love him too. And so that's pretty much. Anything else you want to add, babe?
Yeah, you want to talk about that dope shirt you wearing?
Okay, so one of the designs that we have came out with actually is where the name of the podcast came from, because the shirt came out first.
Right.
I remember that. So this shirt that we have on, and I apologize to our audio listeners, but for you YouTubers, yes, that can see what we have on our Freedom of Peace shirts with our LOUD logo, and LOUD stands for love, obedience, and unwavering discipline. Okay, so he has on his t-shirt. I have on a women's crop tee-back top. Okay, and again, if you want to see what these actually look like for my audio listeners, you can always hit us up on our social media, and we'll have pictures, or shoot us a message. You can email us, whatever you need to do, and we will get you this. We will get you these tops if you're interested. But
sure.
And the meaning behind the LOUD logos and all that, it's just.
We can break that down.
We'll break it down. Another episode.
But most of the creations that we come up with, they either start in conversation or a thought that I had, or I don't want to. Well, yeah, something profound. You know what I mean? So it's like I got a profound message, and I go speak with her about it and try to turn it into an idea, and she either says yay or nay. So either she gets it or she doesn't. Sometimes even when she doesn't get it, I still push forward, but it's not often. Because if she doesn't like it, then it's not speaking to the person I want it to speak to. So, just me. Yeah. So we will elaborate more on the LOUD logo and all our other logos that we have and what it means to us. And so are we officially done with our first episode? She's so ready to get this over with, so she can say, I get it. Like, yeah. Babe, I think we've given the people enough.
Just a little nice brief introduction to who we are, what MastURpeace is, and again, this is chapter 1, page 1. So I'm excited. It was actually easier than I thought it was. Now that I'm sitting here, you get, I don't know why, but like when you turn on the camera, for some people, I don't know if you don't, great, but if you do, like just try turning on the camera and talking to it, like there's an audience of people behind, and it'll be a little different than normal. Just try it and see what happens. But all right, babe. Yeah, it's fun though, especially doing it with him. Oh, my babe. Yeah. But all right, so
I guess until next time,
hit us up on all of our social media platforms. We have Instagram, we have Facebook, and our YouTube channel, Mr. and Mrs. MastURpeace.
Like and subscribe, please.
Yes, like and subscribe. Sharing our content really helps us. The biggest way you can really support us, if you say, for instance, I'm not looking for gear right now. The biggest way you can support us is subscribing to our YouTube channel, is liking our content and sharing our stuff and helping us to
spread the message.
Spread the message,
So,
right?
yeah.
So until then,
Until then.
together
Together we win, people.
Together we win.
Together we win.